Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the March 2023 Euro Overseas Home Virtual Event. Thank you for joining us this morning and for tuning into our webinar on buying in Cyprus. My name is Richard Way and I'm an international property journalist and a writer on the Property Guides team, and I'll be hosting this session. Just as a quick bit of background information, Euro Overseas Home, we're a service provider. And we've been helping customers relocate and buy property all over the world, not just Cyprus, for more than 10 years now. So we provide valuable resources, and one of the great things we do is we connect you directly with trusted experts who work in the property and relocation industry, not just in Cyprus, but whichever country you're looking to move to. These people can help you before, during and after your purchase or relocation. And that's exactly what we're doing here today. We've got 3 experts who work in different sectors of the overseas of the Cypriot property market, and they've given up their time to come speak to you and share information and answer questions. So we've got a currency specialist from Smart Currency Exchange, Paul. Give us a wave, Paul. Yeah, and then we've got Eleni Philippou from Polycarpos Philippou Law. Hi, Eleni. And we've got Helen from Cyprus Emerald, also known as Emerald Property Consultants.
Oh.
Hi there. Hi. So this session is going to be about an hour in total, and I'm going to spend about 15 minutes talking to each of the experts, asking them questions about the key things that we think you should be thinking about. And the ways that they can help you when you're buying or moving to Cyprus. And then at the end, we want to hear from you guys. We want questions. This is a good chance to put your questions to each of these panelists. There's no fee for this. This is all free. This is a way we can all share knowledge and benefit from everybody else's queries. So if you've got a question, use the Q&A tool on your dashboard, type it in there, and then I'll channel it to the appropriate panelist. This session is being recorded, so you'll be able to revisit it after the event. There'll be a tool to download it on the Euro Overseas Home website. Feel free to forward it on to friends and family or anyone else who you think might find it useful. And then, of course, if you do have other questions or you'd rather approach one of the experts individually, they're all going to be available for the rest of the day on their booth in the main exhibition hall, so you can go along there and talk to them and continue a conversation there. So make use of having them all available in one place, and happy to talk to you. Okay, that's enough from me. What I'll do is I'll just get each of them to give a quick introduction about themselves, some background about their own experience, who they work for, the way they can help you, and then we'll go back to I think we'll start with Paul and we'll cover off currency first. So just a quick intro, Paul. Just tell us about yourself and your experience working in the currency.
Yeah, thanks, Richard. Morning, everyone. Excuse me. So yeah, I'm here representing Smart Currency Exchange today. Personally, I've been in the industry, working in the foreign exchange industry for over 10 years now. So over that time, personally and members of my team have helped hundreds of thousands of people transfer money internationally, but with the main aim of assisting with property purchases. And that's where we really specialise at Smart, is understanding the buying journey and taking the stress and the risk out of moving money internationally.
Great, thanks very much. Eleni, tell us quickly about yourself.
Right, so I've been a property lawyer for more than 20 years now. I'm also a member of STEP, which is the Society of Trust and Estate Practitioners. A lot of people will be familiar with it, both in the UK and worldwide. I am head of the property department at Polycarpos Philippou Law, and we're basically your one-stop shop for all your legal needs all over Cyprus.
Where are you based, Eleni? Where's your office?
We have offices in Paphos and in Nicosia, but we service the whole island from these 2 offices.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And hi, Helen. Tell us about yourself and Emerald.
Good morning. Hi. So we're Cyprus Emerald, the real estate agents, that we're here to guide through the process of choosing the right property, buying the property, and then we're here with our after sales and customer service department, because we're not just our job doesn't stop just selling the property, because particularly for people that they're buying a property in a different country, it's very difficult. They need help, they need guidance, and we are here with the lawyers and with the currency experts to safely guide through all that.
And where are your offices?
We have offices in Protras, Pernera, Larnaca, Paphos.
Okay.
So we're we're
Pretty much
covering
the whole island.
island. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Great. Thank you very much. Okay, let's talk about currency pool. For a lot of people listening or buying abroad, the first time they might need someone like Smart is to use someone other than their bank to send money is when they buy abroad. It's a new thing for a lot of people. Just outline how you're different from a bank, and what the key benefits that you offer to someone is, what they are.
Yeah, I mean, we're completely different to a bank when it comes to the actual transferring of funds. I mean, ultimately, the nuts and bolts of actually sending it from one bank to the other is the same, but it's the service, the guidance that we can offer for you. And ultimately, the exchange rate and cost is going to be better for you by using a service like ourselves. So, give you a bit of an example. If you were to go into your bank, maybe speak to your bank manager or one of your actual account managers in the bank, they may have no experience of foreign exchange. So you'll sell them how much you need to move to Cyprus. They'll type in a number on the computer, and that's your exchange rate. It won't be a very good exchange rate either. When you speak to us, obviously we're specialists. We're looking at the markets all the time. We can help you time the transfer accurately to make sure it's a good time, more cost-effective time in the market for you. We also offer different products as well. So with a bank, it would just be what we call a spot transfer. So you're just transferring immediately, and the money goes to Cyprus 1 or 2 days. To get there, often it can be the same day. With ourselves, we offer a range of products. When it comes to purchasing a property, there could be various different timescales and timelines that you have once you agree a price in the property. So, to give you an example, if you're in Cyprus, you find a property, you agree a price in euros. That price is fixed. That's what you've signed to pay. But the price that's always going to be changing is your price in pounds until you actually fix your exchange rate. So we can offer the spot contract to move the money immediately. But one product that's really popular is a forward contract. So that allows you to, say, fix today's exchange rate if you're happy with it. You don't actually have to pay for the contract until completion. So you can book it as up to 12 months in advance. So it gives you peace of mind that you've agreed your price in euros and you've agreed your price in pounds as well. So it just gives you full peace of mind. And there are other options as well that are available where we can look at booking part of the money and putting markers into the market for you as well. So we offer a sort of a wide suite of products that can really benefit.
So I mean, that sounds like one of the key things is that you offer this personal service where you'll actually talk to your clients, you'll get to know exactly what their requirements are, what their approach to the purchase will be, whether they need all the money immediately or they want to wait to see what the rate does, and you'll sort of create a strategy which you won't get from a bank. You go in and you request what you need, they'll do it, and the rate won't be as good. So that is
absolutely,
and clients can call you or their account manager or email you direct and get quotes, or just for a chat and talk about what they might want to do, and just talk about what the currency market's doing, and if there's any big events coming up in the markets that might sway it, you can sort of discuss all that.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're assigned to your own individual account manager. So you'll be dealing with one person all the time. So you're not having to explain the situation to lots of different people. So you have that personal service there, and they're on hand, available to you all 5 days a week throughout the day. So you can email, call in, and they'll always be responsive and answer any queries that you may have.
And of course, the other great thing is that you work with people like our other panelists who all know who Smart Currency is.
Yeah.
rather than them getting a phone call from a voice from a bank, they're actually talking to people they know and they have a relationship with, which helps to
Absolutely.
keep the whole process smooth and you know, they're all trusted partners amongst in a circle. So there's a big benefit to that. I'm sure you guys will agree, Helen and Eleni.
If I just, the forward
Yeah.
contract is actually a key thing for buyers, because it really takes the stress away from the different fluctuations because of the length of time it's currently taking from the beginning of the process, the conveyancing process, until the end. You can imagine if we're looking at 3 months, the stress created to those buyers who just don't know what the rate's going to be from the first payment until the completion date. The forward contract, I've found with our clients who've secured that in the past, that it worked a charm.
Yeah.
Really, really good. Yeah.
Well, it's like we say, when you buy a property in the UK or wherever you're living, in the currency you have funds in, you fix the price, you know it's going to be that price at completion. If you're buying in a different currency and you don't have funds in that currency at the time you agree a price, you don't actually know what it's going to cost you until you exchange those funds. So this way you've got that peace of mind by fixing the rate. You know, you're buying in Cyprus for lifestyle reasons. Most people, you're not buying in Cyprus to try and beat the currency markets. You know, so
Exactly, yeah.
Great. And just remind us how clients get reassurance. I mean, you're regulated, obviously, and the funds are all held in segregated accounts.
Yeah. So security of funds is one of the most important things we make sure that we're covering. We are fully authorised by the FCA, governed by HMRC. So we're a fully regulated financial services provider. And as you say, when clients send funds to us, they go into a segregated client account. So it's not held against the smart currency accounts until we've completed the transfer. So if there was anything to happen to us as an entity while we're holding your funds, those funds are safeguarded in that account and would just be returned to the account that has sent it to us. It's highly unlikely that we'd have those issues, but we're safeguarded just in case anything happened.
Perfect. And when do you recommend clients actually open an account with you? I mean, it sounds to me like it's something you want to do as soon as possible and you can just have it ready.
Yeah, we recommend opening an account as soon as you start having the sort of idea of buying. You don't necessarily need to. It's a no obligation account anyway, so you're not opening an account to book a trade straight away. We have a specialised trading team that will help actually book the trades, but we've also developed over the last 18 months a specialised, essentially a second trading team that will help clients, guide them through if they're maybe not looking to buy for maybe the next sort of 18 months. So we do have a team now set aside especially for people that are longer term clients, and we can look after and just guide you in a different way, and be there, you know, if plans suddenly change and you find a property. So we would say as soon as you start thinking about it, we recommend talking to you, because you know we can start the ball rolling and get your confidence up with the markets.
And how do you open an account? Is it a simple case of online or calling you?
Yeah, it's incredibly easy. Part of the registration process for this show was, I think we're tagged onto the end of a registration form there. You can go straight to our website or give us a call. We have a specialised onboarding team who can again answer any questions before you register. So if you're still unsure about anything, give us a call. We have a team again that can talk you through the whole process and then register you over the telephone. It's a really quick process. Online, you can register an account in under 5 minutes, and over the phone, again we can do it in 5 minutes or longer if you've got a lot of questions.
Okay. Typical scenario then. I've opened my account with Smart. I'm thinking of buying Cyprus. I go out to Cyprus to do a viewing trip. Helen finds me the perfect property and we negotiate an offer, whatever, 250,000, 300,000 euros. What happens next? So I need to pay a deposit. So first of all, I need to think about funding my Smart account. So I've got Is it something you would do before you go on a viewing trip? So you've got your euros ready, or you've got an agreed rate, or what would be a normal sort of process?
Yeah, so there's a few ways that you can do it. I mean, the majority, the sort of the way that we see off happens most often is in that scenario. Client could be in Cyprus, finds the property, they'll just give us a call, and we'll quickly book the transfer for the deposit. What we can do, if it's right for the client at the time, we can actually book the contract for the entire amount. And then take the deposit amount out of the full contract. So rather than booking multiple contracts, we can book it as one large one, and then just take a small portion out of that to pay the deposit. So there's a few different options there. You don't need to have pre-funded. You don't have to have money on account with us. It can speed up the process because we've already got the funds, so we can just quickly convert them. But if it's a sterling transfer, we receive the money within a couple of hours now, maximum. So it's a really quick process for us to get the funds out. As far as rates go, if you wanted to do it quickly, we have to use the rate on the day. So that's what we have to work from. If we could potentially be holding some euros for you because the client may know they're going to be buying out on the trip, so we've already transferred and we're holding euros for them, so we can do it that way. There's lots of different options available to them, but we often find that if a client finds a property in Cyprus or wherever they're buying, they'll call us on the day, and we'll just quickly arrange a transfer for them.
So then they would just arrange the sterling from their UK account into the smart sterling account.
Yeah.
As soon as that hits, you can send over the euros, agreed euros to the receiver in Cyprus.
Yeah, all we would need is for you to send the money to us and tell us where the euros need to go, and we do the rest. Brilliant.
And how long is it taking transfers to get to Cyprus? Is it in a day?
Yeah,
or is it 24 hours?
Because it's euros, we can often get it there the same day. If we beat the cut-off time of 3 o'clock, we can often get it there the same day. But we guarantee next day into euros. But yeah, we can often do same day.
Okay, great. Just conscious of the time, and quickly, it's not just when you purchase a property that you can help clients, because obviously they're going to have ongoing needs such as paying bills, or if they're receiving UK pensions into Cyprus, and you can help with all of this as well, sort of smaller regular payments.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's as I said, we specialize in the property markets. We know that the journey doesn't end when you buy the property. You may have bought it as a holiday home or moving out. So we offer regular payment plans. So if you've got regular bills, or if you've moved to Cyprus and you've got a pension coming in, we can set it up as a regular standing order, where you can fix an exchange rate for up to 12. Well, with those, we can actually do up to 24 months. So every month, you know exactly how much it's going to get converted, or we can do it flexible, again, standing order into us, and we just convert at whatever the exchange rate is at the day. Again, that's a really popular product. Once our clients have actually bought a property, if they've got ongoing bills and things, it's a really popular product that we offer.
Right. And a final one to end on. You don't charge fees for a transaction. You're not like a bank where they have a fee per transaction. Just explain you. It's
Yeah, we don't charge fees at all. We obviously do make money when we're transferring. Where we make our money is in the difference between the market price, so what we call the interbank price, which is the rates you'd see online or wherever you're getting exchange rates from. Our rate will always be slightly different, so slightly below that. That's just where we're making our money between the two. But the difference between the market price and our price is always much smaller than where you'd see elsewhere and with the banks.
Brilliant. So you know what your transfer is costing you in sterling. That's what it is. It's not going to be fees on top.
Yeah. There's no fees. Yes, no invoices will come afterwards asking for the fees on top. We won't add any fees on top of any transfers. It's just, this is how much it's going to cost you, and that's it.
And having an account with Smart, it's a free thing. There's no sort of annual admin charge. You can open your account and it can sit there until you need it. So why wouldn't you?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant. And then you can use the service as much as you like.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
You can speak to us. Sorry.
That's all right. Great. Thank you. anyone, if you've got any questions, do put them in the Q&A box and I'll get them to Paul. But now let's turn to Eleni and let's talk about the legal process and the need to know property laws in Cyprus. Just very quickly, Eleni, I know a lot of obviously Cyprus has a UK connection from its history, and I'm right in saying the conveyancing process there is based on English civil law. Is that right? So there's no notary like in much of Europe. It's a similar process, which makes things nice.
Right. So my turn, right?
Yeah.
First of all, it's a good starting point to mention that Cyprus used to be a colony, a British colony, and we're part of the Commonwealth. And I think we are one of the jurisdictions where we follow English law primarily when it comes, it's the base of the conveyancing process. So you will see a lot of similarities in how you would go about buying or selling a property in Cyprus with the buying and selling of property in the UK. So it's not like in Cyprus, it's not like France, it's not like Malta, like the mainland Europe, where you would go to a notary or a notaire to do your conveyancing. You would actually go to a lawyer just like you would in the UK. This is where we come in. Now, the important thing is, just like the UK, is that all the due diligence work is carried out for the property before somebody buys it, before they put down any money, so that we can at least check that everything is primarily okay from a due diligence point of view, and then the clients can pay what we call the reservation deposit. This is slightly different. The slight difference between the UK and Cyprus is that usually in the UK, you'd have a two-stage transaction where you'd have the offer accepted, and then you'd move to exchange of contracts and then completion. Whereas in Cyprus, it's what I would call a three-stage transaction. So initially you'd be asked by the estate agent to put down a reservation deposit once your offer has been accepted. Moving then towards the signing of contracts, which is the same as exchange in the UK. And then you've got completion at the end with the transfer of the title deed of the property and the delivery of the keys. So if you look at it from, it's a similar process, but instead of splitting it into two stages like the UK, it's a three-stage process. Now, it is extremely important that a lawyer, an independent lawyer, is contacted before you actually find the property. If you find the property and you contact the lawyer, please do so before you actually put down any money. I know Helen's probably going to be smiling, but in my opinion, at least, even if we've had a brief look at the basic documents for the property, as in just a basic copy of the title deed, and then we can say, right, it looks okay, you can put down your reservation deposit. Even that many times saves a lot of problems or concerns later on. So extremely important to have an independent lawyer from day one. Now, from there onwards, as a firm, we work very similar to what you would expect your solicitor in the UK. So we would do the full due diligence on the property. We would prepare a property report with our findings. And then if everything's okay, we will proceed with the drafting of contracts, the signing of contracts, and then the relevant procedures to bring us to completion, which, as I mentioned before, is the day basically that you get the title deed, you get the keys, and you pay the balance of the purchase price. Now, I'm going to bring you back, though, from completion to the beginning of the transaction, because there has been a lot of talk about Cyprus, about buying in Cyprus, about title deeds, properties having title deeds, properties not having title deeds. And a lot of people who contact us initially are concerned because they don't understand, what's going on. I'm looking at this property and it hasn't got a title deed, or they're talking about assignments and what have you. And what I want to say is that once you've got a lawyer backing you up, you should be okay. You shouldn't worry about, the availability of title deeds and everything. And that's what, we're there for, to protect you, to make sure that you don't make any mistakes. Any decisions you make are fully informative and you are fully aware of what you're getting yourselves into. A little bit about title deeds. The non-availability of the title deed. So if you visit Helen and she says, well, this property has a title deed, but it's not in the name of the seller, it's not necessarily, the end of the world. It's not detrimental. It just means that the circumstances need to be checked, because it could be that the person selling the property now had actually bought it off plan and the title deeds become available since, but the seller hasn't actually paid for the title deeds to be put in his name. So it could be something completely innocent, but at the same time, though, it could be a problematic property. And that's why this is where we come in to basically say, hold on a minute, let's just check what we've got in front of us. Is it a question of a simple explanation that the title deed has been transferred and yes, we can proceed? Or is it a problematic property and we should then ask the agent to find us something different? So like I said, very, very important to rely on the findings of the lawyer. Now, another thing I wanted to say is that we have, I would say, 3 types of title deeds in Cyprus. I call them white, grey, and black. I know, Richard's giving me a look. So we've got the white one, which is your clean, proper title deed with no notes or anything on there, and it's perfect. There are no questions about it. You have title deeds which I call grey, because they may have a note on there, and the note sometimes relates to a discrepancy with the property, which is not of a very serious nature. So the land registry have noted that perhaps the pavement in front of the property was not finished, and therefore they would have they made a note on the title deed, basically saying unfinished pavement or something along those lines. It's a discrepancy, something that should have been done or should have been done in a different way and wasn't carried out exactly as the construction permissions. Or perhaps somebody's got a small discrepancy, or they had like a small change after the property was built, and they never applied for retrospective permissions. So that's not necessarily a problem, because the title deed is still transferable. You can buy it, you can sell it, you can mortgage it, but the buyer needs to be made aware still of the existence of this note, because it might be important to someone and it might not be important to someone else. Now, the third type of title deed, which I call the black title deed, which we have seen since, I would say, 2015, when the government made progress with regards to issuing title deeds for those properties that had been blocked for years, for those people who have been following sort of the history of property development in Cyprus and everything. There is a type of title deed which have been issued in cases where properties may have not been built in accordance with the planning and building permissions, but those particular discrepancies are very serious, and the land registry would have registered what we call a prohibition on the title deed. And I call that a black title deed because a title deed with a prohibition on there can only be transferred onto the first buyer, and then it just stays there. So it's not saleable, it's not mortgageable, it's not a good title deed, basically. Okay, so I think it's probably the first time that I'm mentioning this in all of the webinars we've done, Richard, but it's becoming more and more of an issue in recent times. So I thought it's
Worth
nice
mentioning.
for people to understand, yeah, exactly that. Just because they're told that this property that they're interested in has the title deed available, it doesn't mean that everything is simple and
Yeah.
let's just, you know, blindly proceed and put some money down on this property since I've been told that the deed's available. So we still need to check everything, that everything's in order, and that the purchase is safe for the buyer.
And these black title deeds there, yeah, let's reassure people they're not
They're not very common, no.
No. So it's
not at all.
it's bad luck
Not
if you do come across one.
Yes, yes. But I'm
aware.
mentioning it exactly just so that people are aware that we've got these 3 different types generally, but in most situations title deeds are what I call white title deeds. So they
Good.
would be, you know,
okay
to proceed with.
Just we've got a question on title deeds now, so I'll ask it. A title deed applies to a plot of land, doesn't it, as well as an actual built property? Yeah.
Yes. So
it's the land plot.
Yeah. So you would have a title deed for land. You will have a title deed for immovable property, and immovable property consists of land, apartments, structures, etc. So the process, how does it work? Very, very simply, you initially have a plot of land at any given moment in time. You buy the land, you put the title deed in your name. Having bought that piece of land, you can actually go to an architect, get plans drawn up, apply and get planning permission, then you get building permission, then you have a house built, and then once the house has been built, you then apply for the final approval certificate, which means the authorities come on site, they check that you've built the property correctly and in accordance with the construction permissions, and then you apply and you get the house registered on the deed of the land. So the deed no longer says plot of land of 500 square meters, it now says plot of land 500 square meters, including a bungalow with garage and swimming pool. So that's the total process. And in the same way, if you've bought yourself a plot of land that's a bit bigger than that, than the 500 square meters, potentially you can construct 2 houses or 3 or 10 or 20 or a huge massive project. In which case, when you've done the construction, you don't just register all of them on one title deed, because who's going to have that title deed? It's logical that you need to split that title deed of the land, and that's what we call the issuing of separate title deeds, so that each housing unit on this project will get its own title deed. So then you would effectively have a title deed which says apartment number 5 on the complex known as, I don't know, Paphos Sunrise View.
Yeah. Okay.
Answer the question?
Yeah. No, brilliant. I'm just conscious of the time. Great insight into title deed. That's really useful. Let's just cover off some of the other stuff to do with the process. I'm thinking of costs, associated costs that come with the purchase. So you've got your stamp duty fees.
Absolutely.
Just talk us through those.
Yep. Now, we're very, very strong believers in transparency. So the first thing we would do when we're contacted by a potential buyer or somebody who wants to sell their property is we collect the information from them as to round about the value of the property they wish to buy, etc., the type of property. And the first thing we would do is create the estimated overall budget for the conveyancing process. That's the first thing. So we would actually send out a budget that includes not only the legal fees, but also the stamp duty, the transfer fees, and all the other little bits and pieces that they might have to pay. Like I said, we don't like surprises. We like full transparency. So we give them the overall budget from day one. And then if they're happy with the budget, then they then instruct us to proceed. And then we prepare the engagement letter, just like you would expect from your solicitors in the UK. So full transparency with regards to costs from day one. Now, just briefly, the costs that somebody will incur in the purchase of property, they also relate to the type of property that they're going to buy, whether this is off-plan or brand new, or whether this is a resale property, whether they're buying something with the title deed outright, or they're buying by assignment. So that's why I said in the beginning, we will collect the information and then prepare the overall estimated budget so they know exactly what this is going to cost them.
Perfect. Can you give an idea of numbers? So if you want to give a ballpark, a percentage ballpark, if your property is 300,000.
Yeah, I mean, usually what people know is that the legal fees are roughly around the 1% of the purchase price. So this is what, you know, people usually estimate for. But obviously the legal fees, like I said before, are not your biggest concern when you're buying a property, because it's everything added on together. And that's why I said it's important to have the budget from the beginning. So you know your property is going to cost you €200,000, euros, and then you've also got, let's say, another 5,000, which is going to be your legal fees and other bits and bobs. So you know that altogether this purchase is going to cost you X. Now, I need to just say that other than the resale properties that you have, you can also buy new property, either off plan or just constructed or finished. The difference between the two is that your resale property price will not have any VAT added to it. So you buy it, it's 200,000 straight, no VAT. But when you are buying brand new property direct from the developer, then there will be VAT which is added to the purchase price. Now, VAT is 19%, with the possibility to reduce that to 5% if the purchase is being done by private individuals, not company, not buying through a company, but as a person. So you are able to reduce the VAT from 19 to 5%. You're probably thinking, well, why should I buy a brand new property when I can buy something resale and not pay VAT? Well, there is a fast track residency visa, which is connected to the purchase of brand new property, which is not available for the resale property purchase. So in recent times, post-Brexit, we get a lot of inquiries relating to the purchase of brand new properties, which is connected to what we call the PR under Regulation 6.2, or the fast track permanent residency.
Okay. Eleni, I'm really sorry we can't talk about that too much now, because we've got to give Helen a chance, because that's fine. She's been sitting there very patiently, covered a lot of ground, and like I said, you're around for the rest of the day, everyone who's on the panel. So let's talk about actually choosing the right property, and how you can help people find the right property according to their requirements and their budget. And certainly in Cyprus, you know, we normally look at it in two sections, the east and the west. Can you just talk us through the differences between the two halves of the island and the popular resorts, and why people like each of those?
Of course. It's like, thank you. I've been listening to Eleni and to Paul, very, very informative. And it's all part of the same process. Now, people, they come to Cyprus, normally they come for holidays, and they come, as you said, either to the East Coast or to the West Coast. More popular is Paphos with English people. But also our side, the East Coast, and I said our side because this is our main office, this is where I am, and this is where I choose to live and moved 21 years ago from a different country. I'm not from here as well. So East Coast, which we mean Protaras, Pernera, Ayanapa, Paralimni, these areas. It's a very nice life. You have the best beaches on the island, a lot of good nature easy living, things like this. However, you have like big cities, like you have the big city of Larnaca, which offers a lot of activities, a lot of shops, a lot of many things. And then we have other city in the middle between the east and the west coast. We have the big Limassol, which is for me the most cosmopolitan city on the island, and then Paphos. Paphos, beautiful, you know, Eleni is from there. Nice nature, ancient things, nice for couples and families. There are not a lot of differences between these East Coast and West Coast at any case. It's just a question where you're more comfortable. Now, when people come to us and they say, oh, we want to buy a house, we want to move to Cyprus, it's like we sit with them and we talk. We find out more things about them, about their lifestyle, what they like, how they imagine their life here in Cyprus. And then we would say, okay, for you, it's better you come to Protaras, or you go to Limassol, or to Larnaca, or to Paphos. We listen, we sit down and listen, because you can find a very nice house in any area within your budget. It's just that we are here to help to make the right choice according to the lifestyle, according to how they're visualizing their lives in Cyprus, what they want to do. This is the thing. Now, I've made some notes when listening to Eleni. It's like, and I would like to say about the buying process, you know, like according to us. So we sit down with our clients, we talk, we decide which areas are the best, and then always respectful to the client's budget. We help, you know, and we suggest some properties. We go, we view the properties, the client likes one property and now wants that property. Now, for us, we're asking first the deposit. Now, why we're asking the deposit? Just to make sure that that property is off the market. Here, Cyprus, it's a very small market. The properties, they are with multiple agents. We have some properties that we're the sole agent, but most of the properties is like the owners, they're selling themselves. There are with other agents, and without the holding deposit, that property can be sold at any time.
Can I ask how much would a holding deposit be? What would you have to pay as a reservation deposit?
It depends. It can be anything from 3,000 to 10,000. 10,000 going for the new builds, where you have to put it with a developer. Now, why it's like, as Eleni said, because we are real estate agents and we operate under certain legislation. When we are marketing a property, we make sure we gather the right documents, the legal documents, the title deeds, the contracts of sales, everything, just to make sure that it's a property that we can sell. As soon as somebody's interested for a property and they want to buy that property, immediately we're sending the documents to the lawyer so they can check it quickly and then they can advise to put a holding deposit down. And then we can proceed. That deposit, we don't keep it, the buyer doesn't keep it. Normally it's kept by the buyer's lawyer in a separate client's account. So in that way, the property is off the market, the lawyer can start the procedure. That money, the deposit that are kept, it's not just with a simple receipt, it's like with a contract that it's saying if the lawyer finds something and is not happy and will advise against purchasing that property, then yes, it's refundable. So everything is clear. But we are, with a holding deposit, we make sure that our client gets that property at the end and nobody's sell it, and then we have nothing. Now, something that Eleni said about the new properties and the resale properties and VAT and all that. New properties, yes, they do have the VAT on top, that it can be 19 or reduced to 5%. And it does seem like an extra cost. And the resale doesn't have that. The resale, it's 200, it's 200, not 200 plus the VAT. However, the new properties might have the VAT, but they come ready. You don't have any more expense in fixing the property. A resale property, it's an old property. It's going to need from small maintenance to major maintenance. It's going to need things to make it better and more energy efficient, like put photovoltaic panels so you have nothing on electricity, put better insulation and things like this. This is an extra cost. And also a resale with title deeds, when you go to the land registry, you pay for title deed transfer. With the new properties, you have the VAT, but you don't pay anything for that title deed because Cyprus wants to make like a balance. And so you don't, pay too much for the new properties. So basically, that's it. As I said, in Cyprus Emerald, we don't just stop when we sell you a property. We have an after-sales department that we make sure once the deal is done and we pass to the lawyer, we are there between the lawyer and the buyer and also the seller, because we are helping the seller and the buyer at the same time. We want to make sure that all is happy and everything is going to go smoothly. And then when this is finished and we have the delivery of keys, we have our customer service that they're going to help you with everything, from choosing the furniture, make sure your pet is going to be transferred to here. We help you with everything. We're here for you.
Okay. Just give us an idea of typical prices at the moment and the sorts of properties that are popular with UK buyers. Is there any particular type of property that most are buying at the moment? And maybe talk about where, if you're buying in Cyprus to live, so it's going to be a year-round residence, you're not going to want to be right on the seafront where it's noisy at night, whatever. You're going to want. Are there places that are better suited for that as well?
Yeah. This is why we sit down and we speak with our customers first, with our clients, because when they come here, they just know the places by the sea. And because they like the sea and the sun, they say, oh, this is where I want to live. And as you said, you need to take into consideration some things. If you buy a holiday home, yes, take it by the sea. If you're relocating, it's better to move a little bit further in. The prices are much better. I mean, where you would need to buy for a, let's say, 2-bedroom house, where you would need to buy by the coast, 350 or even $500,000, you move a little bit further in and you have a third, like half of the price for that. So you can buy a very nice 2-bedroom house, detached one with a pool, and you can find it 250 to 60,000. Very, very nice. Now, it's people from the UK, they choose houses, they choose detached houses. However, lately we started to change with that because apartments, they become quite popular now. People, they're realizing they're easy maintenance. Okay, they're more economic to buy, but they're more economic to maintain as well. So we have that change. Still, houses, detached houses, they're more popular, but people are starting to think a little bit different now, and perhaps just look into nice apartments and nice complexes with communal pools, gyms, spas, and things like this. So, and from the houses, the most popular one are the bungalows, of course, that people don't have the stairs to go up and down.
And these are quite popular, are they, the bungalows?
Yeah.
And I know that the villages in the hills behind Paphos are quite popular as well, especially for people who are living there year round. So you're slightly above, you're at different altitude, a bit cooler, Just tell us about some of those villages. If people were looking for ideas of where to look, can you give us some examples?
Like Peja and Panopaphos, places like this, Tala, things like this. And in our area, as you said, there's like villages of this, like Fredaros, the Rinia, or in Larnaca, you have other villages. And something that I have to make clear, and this is why when our clients come, we just take them an area tour to realize how close these are to the sea, where they like and they come to Cyprus. It's not like in other countries that the villages are like an hour from what they call a center or what they like. These villages, they have everything. You can shop, you have your doctors, your pharmacies, your shops for like supermarkets and clothes and everything. And then they are very close. These villages that we said for Paphos, or the villages in our areas, East Coast, wherever, they're just like 10 minutes drive from the sea. They're very, very close. And it's like Paphos has its own airport, Larnaca has its own airport. Us here in Protaras, we're just 40 to 45 minutes drive from the airport. Everything is close. Cyprus is a very small island. And this is why they don't need to consider that it's like, if I move to a village, I'm going to lose the sea. If I move to a village, I'm not going to have anything out there. I'm going to be in the middle of nowhere and get bored. It's like, you have activities, it's like you can go, you can do your gym, your foreign languages, you can do anything you want. There are also lots of clubs and social things that you can do anything you wish. You're not going to get bored. You're not going to be in a village away from everything.
And the other great thing is that English is widely spoken, of course. As we see from our panelists today. The clock is ticking. We've got 5 minutes, and we do have a question from Mark, which is nice. It's a very good question, actually. Something a lot of people do. He's asking, well, I guess the question is, should he start viewing property in Cyprus while he's waiting to sell a house in the UK? So obviously selling to relocate. What's the order of things to do? What's the best order? Elaine's got her hand up. Do you want to have a go at that first?
Yes, please. Right, chains. We need to be very, very, very careful, because if you're just now putting your property on the market in the UK, I think it's a little bit too soon to commit to buying a property over here. I'm just warning you about chains, because chains are very common in the UK, and you can extend a chain to include a Cypriot property as well. And that is a recipe for an immense amount of stress. So I would say commit to buying a property here only after you've exchanged contracts for the sale of your property in the UK. What you can do is get the process started. I mean, if you'd like, you can contact us and we'll give you all the information. We'll give you the list of all the paperwork you need to gather for what we call the KYC, or the collection of your personal information, your source of funds generally. But don't put down a reservation deposit to buy any property in Cyprus until you've at least exchanged in the UK. I've seen it happen lots of times, and I would not recommend it.
So what's happened? What's happened? They've agreed to buy in Cyprus, and then their UK house has fallen through.
Inspection trip. They found the property they love, put down a reservation deposit. They don't exchange in the UK, because you know how it works in the UK. You can be, we'll exchange next week and next week and next week, but the clock is ticking on the property here, and they run the risk of losing the reservation deposit, let's say of 5,000 they put down on the property in Cyprus, because the seller of the property in Cyprus can't wait for them to exchange for the property in the UK. So it's a regular chain, but also including a property overseas. And as you know, in the UK, you can have several chains, like your buyer of your property in the UK may be caught up in a chain themselves. And then it's just, it can be very, very stressful. So
Just to clarify, when you pay a reservation deposit, that reserves it for how long? Is it a month?
well, this is one of the key issues, that pre-pandemic, it used to be 30 days. Properties off the market for 30 days. If you don't proceed for reasons of your own, you lose your deposit. If you don't proceed because the due diligence doesn't add up for the property, then you get it back.
Right.
Now, post-pandemic, we recommend to clients that they have, when they put down the deposit, that they get their receipt says that their reservation period is not less than 45 days, because it's taking longer for the due diligence to be done because of delays with the authorities. However, 45 days may not be sufficient time for exchange in the UK to happen. But usually, once you've exchanged in the UK, you complete in about 2 weeks. So within about 2 to 3 weeks, you'll have the proceeds of sale. So that's why I'm saying, put down a reservation deposit to buy something in Cyprus only after you've exchanged in the UK.
Great
And
advice,
there's
thank you.
For me, like to comment on that is like, I would say if somebody is putting like Mark is asking, is like to come in contact with a currency exchange company, so he has everything, you know, in order. Come to Cyprus Emerald, just do the get to know Cyprus. So we decide when he's ready to buy, which area, which property type, when, and when he's ready, when his house is sold and he has the money, then it's like, we know exactly we're going to look to these types for this area, and we book a property there. Okay, that's it's
So there's lots you can do.
Yeah.
Lots of preparation you can do so that you'll,
Yeah.
you know, you can be signed up to Smart Currency. You can have spoken to Eleni and have appointed her. You can have had a chat with Helen, so you've got an idea of and been out and looked at where you think you want to buy, so you're ready to hit that button as soon as the exchange in the UK.
Yeah.
Okay, we are just about on the hour. So thank you very much, Eleni, Paul and Helen. We do appreciate you giving up your time to come and speak on the panel. Hope you've enjoyed it as well.
Yep.
And also thank you for everyone who's tuned in and watched this session and asked questions. Hopefully it's been useful. Like I said, this has been recorded, so it will be available to watch again on the Your Overseas Homes website, or you can forward it to friends and family. Share the knowledge. Hopefully today's also sort of revealed how the three specialists, you know, the lawyer, property consultant and the currency specialist, how they all fit together and all interact and make, you know, help make your purchase in Cyprus happen and happen smoothly. Grab any of these guys after this session. They're going to be on their booth in the main hall for further conversations, further questions. Have we got any more Cyprus ones today? I don't think we have any more Cyprus ones today. No, we've got one on removals, a general one about organising a removal, which could be to Cyprus this afternoon at 2:45, if that's of interest for anyone moving to Cyprus. Otherwise, thanks again for watching. Good luck with your property search in Cyprus and enjoy the rest of the day. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.